The child responds incorrectly to the SD. It's a tacting program that he has mastered in the clinic but struggles with at home. The parent jumps in with a full verbal prompt again. They're quick, confident, and it's done. Or maybe they give the SD again, just louder this time. Or maybe they shrug and just move on to the next task. You've seen it probably this week if you're working on generalization with parents. And every time that moment, the one that could have built the skill quietly disappears. Let's talk about what should happen instead. So, parents want their kids to succeed, and they don't like to see them struggle. When a mistake happens, their instinct is to fix it fast. They might give the right answer to avoid frustration and the associated meltdown, and then they just move on. But that moment is not just about a wrong answer, it's a missed chance to actually teach the skill. If we just give them the right response, they don't learn how to find it on their own next time. We build in prompt dependence. And when parents don't know how to respond to errors with intention, kids start to learn some other things too. They might learn that if they wait long enough, someone else will do it for them. They could also learn that if they guess, they can just move on. And even worse, they might learn that if they're wrong, nothing happens anyway. If we want progress that sticks, we can't just correct the moment. We have to teach through it. So stick with me because in a moment, I'm going to show you a simple 4-step error correction flow that parents can actually use, even in the chaos of everyday life. When a child makes a mistake, most parents do what feels automatic. They give them the right answer. They might repeat the instruction, but louder, or they might move on to avoid the meltdown. Sometimes they throw in, good try, and keep going. It's not wrong necessarily. It's just instinct, not intention. It doesn't accomplish our goal. But here's the thing. Over time, the child doesn't learn what to do differently. They just learn how to get out of the moment. And that's why so many skills stall out. The instruction might be clear, but the correction isn't helping it stick. So here's how I frame that with parents. I say something like, when your child gets something wrong, we don't just fix it, we help them practice it the right way so it sticks. That's the difference between correcting the moment and teaching the skill. So when I coach error correction, I just keep it simple and use 4 steps. First, we reprompt the right answer using just enough help to get it right immediately. Then we give a quick distractor. It could be an easy question like, what's your name? Or a short task like, clap your hands. That little reset breaks the chain from the error. Next, we repeat the original instruction. No extra cues, just a clean SD. And finally, we reinforce the correct response, but only when it's clean and independent, not after the prompt, unless we're still working on prompt fading. And don't provide reinforcement after the mistake. After the real success is when reinforcement should appear. I tell parents we're not just moving past the error, we're helping them be more independent on the second try. That's how the skill grows, not by avoiding mistakes, but by practicing through them. And in a minute, I'm going to show you some real life examples that make this feel less like a protocol and more like something that parents can use naturally every day. But once I've walked parents through the steps, I don't just hand them a script. I help shift their mindset because when they understand why they're doing it, they stop feeling like they're just correcting mistakes and start feeling like they're actually teaching through those mistakes. So I'll say things like, we're not just giving the right answer, we're giving them a chance to find it themselves. Or this isn't about punishing the mistake, it's about helping them succeed the second time. Or if they get it right after a little help and a reset, that's still real learning. Or even, we're not brushing past errors, we're using them to build the skill. These kinds of phrases help reframe the moment. They make parents feel like they're part of the learning process, not just trying to get through the task. And when the mindset shifts, the response changes too. Even when parents understand the steps, they still need coaching in real time. And that's where we come in. One of the most effective things I do is narrate what they're already doing. If a parent naturally prompts the right answer, I'll say, yes, that was exactly the right amount of help. You gave them a path to success and the right answer. It connects their instinct to intentional teaching. And when a child makes an error during session, I don't wait to debrief it later. I coach it live. I might say something like, let's try that again together. I'll prompt this time. You jump in on the repeat. Sometimes I just model it myself and say, I'm helping her get it right, then giving her a reset. Then we're going to try again so we can catch her when she answers correctly. And maybe the most important thing is that I normalize the pause, because when a parent rushes through the mistake, I'll say something like, listen, it's okay to slow down. This is where the learning actually happens. So let's take a look at two real life examples that help parents recognize when and how to use these steps in the middle of messy routines. First, let's say you're running a session and the parent is practicing labeling at the lunch table with their child. They hold up a spoon and ask, what is it? If the child says fork, maybe the parent pauses, maybe they're not sure what to do. That's your moment to step in and coach, not correct the parents or the child. I might lean in and say, let's help them get it right. Go ahead and say spoon so they can repeat it. Once the child repeats spoon with the prompt, I guide the parent. Great. Now ask something quick, like touch your nose. We're just giving a reset before we try again. Then I say, okay, now show the spoon again and ask the same question. When the child says spoon on their own, I might add, yes, this is the moment that we want to reinforce. That second try is where the learning happens. And if the parent hesitates or skips a step, I don't correct, I narrate. I might say something like, you're doing it, just keep the steps short and upbeat. Prompt, reset, try again, and celebrate a clean win. That kind of coaching turns the strategy into a skill they can actually use, because they're not just hearing the process, they're doing it with you right there for support. Or maybe the child is learning to fold laundry and the task is to match socks. The child picks up a striped sock and tries to match it with a plain white one. There's a pause where the parent hesitates, maybe about to just fix it themselves and move on. But that's where I step in to coach in the moment. I might say something like, go ahead and point to the matching sock. Don't say anything, just provide that gesture. That's your reprompt. After the child switches and puts the correct socks together, I guide the next step. Great. Now give her a quick, easy action like point to the shirt, just something simple to reset. Then I'll say, okay, great. Now hand them the striped sock again and ask, can you find the match? If they match it correctly this time, I'll add, perfect. That's when you give the praise and reinforcer right after they do it on their own. These kinds of natural routines are full of teachable moments. And when parents have a clear, simple way to respond to errors, they're not just guessing anymore. They're actually teaching skills. So let's talk about where BCBAs get stuck when teaching this. One of the biggest mistakes I've seen and made myself is that we teach the steps, but we don't necessarily teach the purpose. We walk through the whole flow, prompt, distractor, repeat, reinforce, but we often forget to say why it matters. So I always add something like, we do this to give your child a second chance to respond independently. That's how the learning sticks. Sometimes that one line is all it takes. Another common trap is that we explain too much, but model too little. When a child makes an error, that's the moment to stop talking and show what error correction looks like, even if it's a little bit messy, even if you're not sure it's the ideal example. The parent needs to see it in action, not just hear about the steps. And the final mistake BCBAs make when teaching parents about error correction is that we fail to teach it at all. We often teach parents strategies as part of a generalization and sort of hope for the best. But mistakes happen even during generalization. If we can help parents know what to do when those mistakes come up, we're giving them a strategy that teaches their child rather than simply tests them. Error correction isn't just about fixing mistakes. It's about building confidence for the child and the parent. It's about giving just enough support to try again without taking over. And it's about helping families move from reacting to teaching. That's exactly why we built the Achieve Parent Training System with parent-ready videos that break strategies like this down step by step so you don't have to reinvent the wheel every week. You get to focus on coaching. We help with the teaching. And if you're ready to keep building momentum, the next video in the series will show you how to help parents replace challenging behaviors, not just react to them. I'll see you there.